Hello and welcome to Melomaniax, the podcast where we take unbiased deep dives into the biggest musicians and bands of all time. I'm one of your two hosts, Dallas Dwight.
And I am Ashton.
And first, as always, please don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. I got to give you the whole spiel here. Follow on Instagram and TikTok. Most importantly, please hit us with those 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts or whatever platform you listen to this show on. We also have launched a Patreon. There's one tier. It's at $5 a month. That's going to give you access to our private Discord, shout out on an episode, and the ability to pitch your own episode topics, which today's topic is movie music, film scores. We are building off of last week's episode about John Williams, and we're going to kind of open it up to kind of all film music, I think, this week. And we're going to dive into different composers and kind of just go wherever our hearts lead us, because this is something that I know you're passionate about, Ashton, and I am as well. Oh,
for sure. I mean,
so we thought it'd be a really good way to kind of keep the party going post John Williams, because there was so much, and we even started to do it in that show that we wanted to talk about that didn't really pertain to John Williams. So we kind of kept it focused. So today we're going to open that up.
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be nice to be able to get off topic, because John Williams is definitely one of those topics that just can lead you in one of those wormholes, talking about just about everything. So
and to that end, maybe today we kind of avoid talking too much about John Williams just because we did so much last week, so we can open the floor up to other composers, other films, other things that we like and have impacted us.
Yeah, for sure. So we can definitely skip over some of those movies, and if anybody is curious about those movies, we do talk a good bit about the movies in our John Williams episode, so anything he was involved in, but we'll definitely compare and contrast. But today the biggest focus is everything else.
We're not going to be able to mention him. He's such a pivotal part of film scoring. It's also worth noting we're going to be kind of discussing more of the modern film score. We're not going to be touching on I guess many of the like old film score, film composers, that kind of thing. So
keep it new.
Just worth it.
Yeah, because
Ennio Morricone, Bernard Herrmann, those kind of people. Probably not as much as like your Hans Zimmers and your Howard, the modern people.
Yeah, we just don't have as much information on the, or at least I don't. I have not watched too many old movies. I can't speak for you.
Same. I'm not like a cinephile by any means. In fact, you could probably name most famous, big, awesome movies, and I haven't seen them. So.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get to that. There's quite a few on my list as well of movies that are just like extremely famous that I haven't seen. So,
yeah, I saw a meme that perfectly summed up my relationship with movies. It said, my life consists of people asking me if I've seen movie X, me saying, no, I've never seen movie X, them acting, like so surprised, like, oh my God, you have to see movie X, me saying I'll add it to my list, but there is no list and I'm never going to watch the movie. I was like, I have had that exact conversation more than 20 times, and I know in my head I'm never going to watch this.
Yeah, I have a personal list. Nobody else is going to put a movie on my list, but they can make suggestions.
Yeah. I mean, I have my list too. It's just not a real list that I probably will never get to.
It's not real enough. If it was a real list, I'd actually be working on it. But I'm not. So it's I guess just a someday, if this happens to be on and I'm in the room and have nothing to do, maybe I could watch that movie.
Yeah. And I went as far to get one of those posters on Amazon. It's like a scratch off poster of like 100 great movies or whatever.
Oh, that's right. You were telling me about that.
We've started working through those, although it's been probably 6 months since we've watched one, but we are probably 5 deep out of 100. So, and it's got all the big ones, that I haven't seen, and a lot of the ones that I have seen, like Lord of the Rings is on there, Harry Potter.
Yeah, I could make some like people stop listening with some of the movies I haven't seen, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
But let's not offend people yet.
So many. But we have seen, and this is really important, all of the Transformer films.
I can't even say I have. That would be hilarious though. Like I've seen every single one.
I can't. I definitely saw the first one.
Dude, they're still releasing them. If I'm not mistaken, they went through the whole dinosaur thing and they were really good originally. I watched the first. See, I'm not a big fan of swapping around like characters unless you have to. but actors. And I feel like they just
Yeah, I know
changed
what you
up the
mean.
whole crew like 3 times throughout the series so far. There's no like remaining people other than probably the voice actors for the Transformers themselves.
Yeah, true. We went and saw Dune 2 last night in 4DX.
Have you seen the
Highly
first?
recommend. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
see,
saw
we
the first.
haven't seen the first, but literally everybody's been saying Dune 2 is incredible, but we haven't seen the first one, so.
It was awesome. The first one, so they said from the beginning they're going to be 3 parts. So the first one, everyone was kind of shitting on it, but it was like, they're clearly just setting a bunch of stuff up. Like, that's the only goal of the first one. The second one, it starts to kind of realize some of that stuff, and the third one's going to be the finale. So the second one was really fun. There was a lot of stuff going on. I kept thinking like it's going to end on a cliffhanger, and it just kept going. I was like, whoa, they're really they're not leaving a lot for the next movie. Yeah, it was super good though. The 4DX, dude, some of the like throws in the chair and stuff are like I'm getting whiplash. Like they're throwing you around in that chair.
Yeah, I went and saw
to the point that most people in the fans are just laughing because it's just like absurd.
That's funny. I went and saw the most recent Godzilla movie that was released from Japan in 4DX. That was pretty.
Oh, that's cool.
That was pretty sweet.
So the music from Dune 1 and 2, I believe, was Hans Zimmer.
It is Hans Zimmer.
It's really incredible. But we were talking about Transformers, and I just remember we were watching the ads at the beginning, and I just kept looking over at Amy after everyone being like, "Movies are not good today. Like these are absolute garbage." Like.
My dad's been saying
one
that
of them
for
was like,
a while.
One of them was like Godzilla and Kong 8 or something.
Oh.
Every single thing was like a sequel. Every trailer showed way too much of the movie. Like there's another Ghostbusters coming, and like you'd think they'd want to hold a Bill Murray reveal for the movie. Nope, it's right there in the trailer. Like here he is. Like they're clearly cracking all the best jokes in the trailer, and it was just like, dude. By the way, speaking of the music, all of the trailer music is, I mean, you could just drag and drop from any of them.
Yeah, true. That one I was laughing at because in the trailer for it the main villain, whatever the ice thing is, looks just like a character in League of Legends, like almost exactly the same. And so I was just sending it to people laughing at it. I didn't really pay attention to it, but unfortunately, I am going to go see the King Kong Godzilla movie just because I've been watching them. And it's not that they're good. It's just, monster fight monster type of like, yeah, hit it, kill it, smash it. That kind of thing. So like no story to it really. But
this one, dude. No, so there was another
funny.
Another Planet of the Apes, which by the way, I thought they stopped making those like 4 movies ago.
Me too, dude. That commercial came on and I was like, wait a second. I thought they were done after 3.
This is still going on?
I thought they were done after 3.
Yeah. And then after that, the Godzilla Kong came on. And guess who the ultimate bad enemy is? It's just a bunch of King Kong. So it literally just looked like Planet of the Apes again. Like
I thought it's the red ape. I can't remember his name. He's like an orangutan. That's the main bad guy for that one.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, he's like a big
he
brown,
kills a bunch of
brownish
apes and stuff, and then I guess King Kong and Godzilla are gonna have to work together to take him out. I don't know.
Hilarious. And they built like a yellow glove for Kong, which is when we saw that, Amy and I both looked at each other and go, "Oh my god, Transformers!" Nope. It's like every movie's the same movie.
Oh yeah. It's all the same. Like I guess it's like comes down to how many different like VFX studios are there that are killing it.
Yeah.
Like there's just, like 3, I guess, maybe like 3 or 4. So it's just going to be rinse and repeat type of movies. And occasionally there's good stuff. But yeah, right now we're in this weird period of just sequels and remakes, no original content.
And I get it because all the original content's coming out on like Netflix, it's streamers, it's shows. I get all that. Because to be fair, a lot of the original movies they do make are just like I look at it, I'm like, I'm not gonna see that. That looks like I'm not. That looks terrible. Like
Yeah.
So it's like I would rather go see Harry Potter 11 than I would something new at this point.
Yeah. Occasionally,
so I get that.
Occasionally, people come out with a good, refreshing original movie, but it's pretty
the new
rare.
stuff just happens to be. It's just all on streamers now. Like,
yeah.
You get Ozark, you get Squid Games, you get all this original content that gets people going, and that's where it is. It's just not in the theaters anymore.
Real quick.
But anyway, let's dive into some music stuff.
Dune. When did the first one come out? Is that a recent movie?
I think it's 2021. I think.
Okay, so it's recent. Is it what is it based off of? A book?
So there was the book. There were the books originally. I want to say they were from like the 50s, and then there was a movie series in the 80s they did. That just looks terrible, and I'm never going to watch. And so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's amazing, but I'm just not going to watch it. And then they kind of redid it now, so it is a remake and a sequel. So there you go. Check.
So you brought up Hans Zimmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at his discography lately. So yep, Dune was 2021. It was his first project, 2021.
So Hans Zimmer's kind of the. I mean, he's just as accomplished as
he's been killing it
as John Williams, I would say.
Yeah. Some of his recent work. Oh, he's doing the new Kung Fu Panda movie as well.
Oh, nice. I think we're going to go see that, which is going to be kind of fun.
He's doing the music for Mufasa, the Lion King. I believe that's the Broadway. Or some kind of musical, or some kind of Disney Plus exclusive thing. Dune 2. He's did Top Gun, the most recent Top Gun. That one was really good. The music
that one was good. I watched that
well. That was a good movie. Music was good. He did Boss Baby, so he does he mixes in a lot of cartoons as well.
Yeah, he's very famous for doing the superhero thing because he did the Dark Knight.
SpongeBob
He did all three of the Dark Knights.
Oh, did he? Okay. I didn't know he did that.
So that's what he became. He was famous way before that, but that will put him on the map. And then he started doing like every superhero movie. So he did Man of Steel, all that stuff.
So he landed like all of DC's. No,
basically anything Christopher Nolan. So Inception, Interstellar, Dunkirk, like he did all that.
Yep, I see that. Literally everything you just named is on my screen right now. Like those you said, Interstellar, all that. He did The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
So what you'll notice with film composers, a lot of times they partner up with directors.
Like Spielberg
and directors
and
always
Williams.
go to the same guy. Yeah, exactly. So Hans Zimmer and Christopher Nolan are one of those duos for sure. So almost any Christopher Nolan movie, you could pretty much bet it's going to be a Hans Zimmer score.
I got you. Just because once you establish that working together, and there has to be some synergy there. If the director and the composer don't get along, it's not going to work. So it makes sense to keep using somebody that you know and work well with.
Yeah.
Especially if they keep writing successful music. There's no point not calling them up over and over again. So Dark Knight Rises, nice. I wonder how many.
Yeah, if you have the.
Do I have what?
He won 2 Academy Awards, one for The Lion King in 94, which he did that with Elton John, of course, and then Dune in 2021. So that's a pretty big gap there.
Yeah, I've been seeing The Lion King pop up everywhere over the years, just as far as it looks like any time they do any kind of play, live music, like movie remake, anything, his name's been on it. So,
but also, let's not forget the stuff he kind of did in between Lion King and Dark Knight. There's Gladiator, The Last Samurai, all the Pirates of the Caribbean. So
the pirate. He did the pirate movies.
Yeah, that's all.
Great score. Great scores.
And he's working with other people on a lot of these scores because I know there's multiple people credited. But he's definitely one of them.
Yeah, he's got a.
So there you go. The Lion King had a lot of nominations.
Yeah, huge in the animated movies still.
Prince of Egypt, nice.
Oh, he did Shark Tale. Let's go.
He also did some of the Mission Impossibles, at least Mission Impossible 2, I see. The Road to El Dorado, you remember that movie?
Yep. That also had Elton John in it.
Yep, it did. And that's what we were going to talk about. We were talking right before we started this about Disney kind of partnering with pop stars to bring their music to the masses, which was really smart, and it worked really well. It does seem kind of, now in retrospect, it seems like a little celebrity-driven kind of thing, which is a little annoying, but definitely worked.
Back then, I thought it was just cool, I think. And the kids don't even care, so like that was an interesting
kids
choice.
Don't know.
Yeah, they don't know, they don't anything like that. So it's one of those choices, like you're adding in just quality for Disney always has done that for a long time. maybe not so much anymore because it's not really the way you can run a business, but they've always added more quality into their work than what you're paying for. Just kind of something they do.
Yeah.
But as far as that, I'm trying to look and see when they got their first, like, absolute first movie with a big star in it. It might be The Lion King in 94, from what I'm seeing.
Which then went on to win all the awards. Well, because remember, Aladdin was before that, 92, and there was no star in that. It was just the cast singing. You know?
That was still what we were talking about before we launched. Is we started at the beginning, and the original movies, in the 40s and 30s, just kind of used and back then in film use, the actor or actress usually had to be able to sing for their parts. They didn't use two different people. So like in the early stuff, it's most of the people that are playing the characters are also singing. And then they go through this period where they have like this set reusable group of like 8 to 10 people that do all of the singing for all of the movies. And they do that for like quite a few years, kind of from really through like 60s to the 90s, I'd say. And then once the 90s hit, that's when you start seeing, we were talking, Elton John comes in. They brought in Elton for multiple movies. They brought in Phil Collins. They bring in, they also, through the early 2000s, they start rotating through a lot of the young Disney stars, like on the Disney Channel, the kids through there.
That's right.
Oh, Randy Newman came up. Randy Newman was a big one in the 90s as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right. Toy Story and all that. And something they started doing as well, aside from having, the Elton John full score with the artist, what they would do is they would have like, whatever the big song of the movie was that maybe was sung by the character in the movie would then return at the credits sung by a pop star.
Yep.
So one of the first ones I can remember that did that was the Hercules one, which is sung by the guy who plays Hercules in the movie, and then Michael Bolton does it in the credits.
That's right. He does the go the distance, and that's when the credits
roll.
Go
the distance. That's right.
Same with I have that pulled up. Same with at the end of Mulan, "True to Your Heart," which is Stevie Wonder and 98 Degrees plays. So like it's like they have these pop artists that are like on the soundtrack, but the song is not always like directly in the movie. It's just on the soundtrack, plays during the credits. Here's Christina Aguilera during what Disney movie was she off? Mulan again? Oh, dude, I'm gonna have to go listen to the Mulan soundtrack. Sounds like there's a bunch of songs that just weren't in the movie that are it's just a pop album. That'd be hilarious. It's just like the first side of the album is the Disney score, and then the other side just straight pop album for no reason.
That's funny.
Randy Newman on Bug's Life. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Toy Story 2. I like Randy Newman's work in Disney.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I love that. There was also some like less known movies like The Road to El Dorado is one. And then also Brother Bear, which was Phil Collins.
That's right. Phil Collins returned for Brother Bear, which now that I haven't heard that. So I know I'm trying to remember the song, the main catchy song from Brother Bear. I haven't seen that movie in a long, long time.
I haven't either. It's super good.
Let's see. Randy Newman for Monsters Inc. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one where they're singing about like being two best friends or something. You remember?
Yep. Oh, it looks like he got a Grammy Award.
Is that the one that go, wouldn't have nothing if I didn't have you?
Yep, that's the song he sings. Man, I'm starting to think, I always liked Phil Collins as my number one. The Tarzan album, probably my favorite Disney album of all time. But
So what's funny is you can see the pattern where if you go back and look like you're looking now, you can see where something worked and Disney's like, oh my God, this worked. Let's do it 50 more times.
Yep.
So what was the other one that Phil Collins did? That was Brother Bear after they figured out Tarzan worked, right?
Yep.
And then Brother Bear didn't do nearly as well. So then you see Phil Collins just kind of quietly disappear. Maybe comes back once or twice, but they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they try you out.
So it's like you can't, some of this stuff is lightning in a bottle that they really tried desperately hard to catch. And those are the movies I think, and you see it with Lion King. Lion King destroyed, so they bring it back for Road to El Dorado. It tanks. So it's like, and I love that movie. It was one of the movies
good.
in the
absolutely.
in the van DVD players. I was a kid, but
Dude, the van
still,
DVD
it didn't. I mean, it didn't. I guess it didn't tank. Like it had some awards and stuff, but it definitely was not Lion King,
bro. So there's that TV show. I just thought of this. There's that TV show where that guy brings like artists into the car and they drive around and they sing on the radio. It's like that British guy.
Yeah, that's what's his name? Guy blanking on his name. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, but
it's called Carpool Karaoke.
Dude, I want the same TV show now, but it's just got the classic minivan TV, and it's film
James
discussion.
Corden.
James, yeah, same thing, but it's the minivan DVD player, and it's just the nostalgia movies. Just interview people while a movie is playing on the thing. That'd be a funny interview.
Yeah, that'd be so funny. James Corden, quite possibly the most annoying talk show host of any kind. I'm still scrolling through some Hans Zimmer here. The Da Vinci Code, Madagascar.
Yeah, I saw Madagascar. That was interesting to me.
Shark Tale, if you remember that movie. I love that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Animated, fun one. A Simpsons movie, and then he did Kung Fu Panda, Dark Knight. We know that. Frost Nixon. He did the Transformers, it looks like. Angels and Demons, Sherlock Holmes.
I forgot Tron was Disney. And I shouldn't have forgotten that. But
Hans Zimmer's essentially done almost every single modern movie. Like
right.
that had any amount of success. It seems to be he's behind the music.
It seems like he actually gets more work than Williams, because most of what we said Williams' work after in the 2000s onward is just sequels to stuff he's already worked on. And seems like Hans Zimmer is out here landing a lot of the just independent new stuff. And then we have plenty of other composers
I want to read
up,
you
but
his 2011, just 1 year.
2011.
Rango, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, Kung Fu Panda 2, Transformers Dark of the Moon, A Monster in Paris, The Dilemma, Jealous of the Birds, Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows. Granted, I guess a lot of those are sequels, so he's already got something to build off of. But
that's a busy guy.
It also looks like a lot of these are composed with other people. So I think what that means is the other person's probably doing most of it, and they're bringing in Hans for something very small, so they can just slap his name on it. See that a lot with like you were talking about with the Solo movie, where they'll say, John Williams score, and it's like you dig in a little bit. He wrote one theme for it, and then John Powell did the rest of it and just used some of his old themes. So it's like, yeah, kind of, but he didn't spend a ton of time making the score for this movie. Like he just kind of did one thing, and then John Powell did the rest. So it's a little bit misleading, but it's also a marketing ploy, so I get it.
Yeah. So after going through like all of Disney's thing, dude, it feels like Randy Newman might be one of the longest lasting to keep getting a call back, but it specifically seems to be with anything like there's multiple Monster University. There's so much Toy Story stuff. Also, here's another name I forgot to bring up that they use, Danny Elfman. He comes up on quite a few different movies. Danny
Elfman's done a ton of stuff as well. Danny Elfman comes from the rock band world. He was in the band Oingo Boingo. By the way, have you ever looked at Danny Elfman?
Yeah, weird looking dude.
If you look at him, you'll understand why he hangs out with Tim Burton and Helena Bonham Carter. Like he clearly fits. He looks like a Tim Burton character.
Yeah, no, for sure. I want to associate the two together.
He started out in the band. He started out in the band Oingo Boingo, and then went on to do film scores. And a lot of his film scores are kind of reflective of his image. Like he's an eccentric dude, but he's done so much stuff similar to John Williams and
What was Hans' first piece? 82, Moonlighting. Okay, that was his first. I guess his first feature film. Back to Zimmer. Okay. How old is he? All of a sudden I have all these questions about my guy. Not nearly as old as John Williams, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, just...
How old is he? He's 66. 66. Okay. All right. 66 years old. So Hans Zimmer's going to be around for quite quite a while, I'm sure. If he has the work ethic that John Williams does, he'll be working for quite some time. As well as if he holds up for that many years. German film composer.
I forgot about this in the Family Guy parody of Star Wars. You remember when it pans to the twin sun scene, like we were talking about last episode, and the orchestra swells and it's really awesome?
Yeah.
And then in the Family Guy one, the orchestra burns up and it says, "Oh no, we have to replace him with Danny Elfman." And Elfman comes in and starts doing his like oompa music, oompa, doompa, you know, that kind of thing. And then he's decapitated by a lightsaber.
What?
So funny. It was them spoofing Elfman's orchestral style of writing, you know?
Yeah. Oh, geez. Let's bring up this other composer that I know he's one of your favorites, Howard Shore.
Yeah, Howard Shore's done a lot.
Let's see.
Most notably in my world, The Lord of the Rings, which the music in Lord of the Rings, I think, is peak film music. I don't know that it gets any better than that. It is up there with the best of I'd put it up against anything, really. But one thing he did when he wrote the music for that was he didn't watch the movie, he read the book. So he was writing the music while reading the book. And then putting it to the movie. So that's and I did a whole paper on this in college about film music, specifically the music in Lord of the Rings. And there's one main theme for each movie, like a one word theme. I can't remember. The first one is home. I remember that. The second two I can't remember, but the Shire and all the themes of home, and there's all sorts of like missing home and leaving home and all sorts of themes throughout that. And that's where you get that Shire theme, which is called Concerning Hobbits on the soundtrack. And then the main theme for the second movie is the Rohan. Da 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 da. That one. And then
dude, I'm literally getting goosebumps right now.
Yeah, it's so good. And the main theme for the third one is the Gondor theme, which I, off the top of my head, cannot remember.
That one I feel like is similar to the other one. I know the Gondor. Yeah, I'm trying to think. No, I think I just can't get the Rohan theme out of my head now, but because that one is so iconically good. See, when you brought up Lord of the Rings, I just always immediately think like do 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 do. But then you're bringing up these other themes that I'm forgetting about that are so insane.
Yeah, the main that's the Fellowship theme.
Yeah, the Fellowship theme. I like the Shire theme a lot. Like a lot. Anything that has to do with the hobbits, like with their themes, sounds so good. I gotta listen to this Gondor theme now. Now that you brought it up,
yeah, I do too. I do too.
Nice, I can hear you playing it. Oh, I can't now.
Really? Must be coming through FaceTime or something, because I have everything silent on my end. I have it in my headphones. Let me see here. Where are his albums? I really want to figure this out. Oh, and then he came back and did The Hobbit, of course. Makes sense. Return of the King. Yeah, I wanted to say, for anyone that might not know, they actually filmed The Lord of the Rings. They filmed all three at once. And that's how they were able to release, absolutely insanely massive movies in 2001, 2, and 3. Like, they came out 1, 2, 3. Like, there was no, years between them or anything.
Yeah, and I guess nobody ages, at all throughout the films. And not that they, film gets around that anyways, but, that's pretty impressive. I'm not sure if you could get anybody to do that anymore. For 3 films straight.
They talk about how grueling those sessions were. Let's see, The Kingdom of Gondor. But I want to make sure we're hearing the right one, because there's so many, it's film music. There's so many iterations.
Alterations of one theme for different parts of the movie. So it's hard to nail down the one part that's supposed to be the main theme. Sometimes.
As soon as I hear a snippet of it, I'll know. But here, let me see. Here's one on YouTube. Let's see. Gondor calls for aid. Right. Oh, that's right. Oh, I remember it. Hold on.
I hear a French horn, I think.
Yeah. Da 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 da.
That's right. Yeah.
Da 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 da. That's the Gondor theme. But yeah, just so many good themes throughout Lord of the Rings, which I think is kind of, like I said, I think it's kind of peak.
That's your
movie
that's
music,
your favorite.
but certainly not all he's done. He started in 1978 with "I Miss You, Hugs and Kisses," one of my favorite movies of all time. Just kidding, I've never seen it, of course.
So your favorite film score, Lord of the Rings? I think mine will be Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to say, but it's definitely
Lord of the
up there for
Rings
sure.
is up there. Man.
Other notable Howard Shore
Yeah,
movies:
let's
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm scrolling through here. I'm
I
only
can't
gonna say
even
the
think
ones
of
that I
like what the
recognize. Dogma.
score. Uh-huh. Let's see.
He won a lot of awards for Lord of the Rings, and then he did The Aviator. He did Peter Jackson's King Kong. There you go, seeing the partnership of Peter Jackson and Howard Shore. The Departed.
Mm-hmm.
He did Twilight, it looks like. At least he did Eclipse. I didn't see the other two.
Huh. Yeah, I don't see the other two, so I guess he just came in for...
He returned for The Hobbit. And then...
just the
he's
first
done a
one?
lot of other stuff than what I'm saying,
no, he did
but I
all
have not
three.
seen a lot of these films. So I can't speak to a lot of these films that you, the listener, might know that I don't recognize. But he's definitely done a lot of stuff, so I don't want to just diminish him to Lord of the Rings. But that's just what I know him for and what I know the best.
Well, I think that is also what
just phenomenal.
he is probably known for the best.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
If we go to his, let's see. He's a Canadian composer.
Yeah, I'm looking at... I don't know too many films outside of Lord of the Rings and the occasional couple you mentioned.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if that's because... No, these are American movies. Oh, no. Canadian. Okay, so he also film scores a lot of Canadian films mixed in, which is why we don't know as many. Because unfortunately, not too many studios have ever been able to outdo Hollywood.
I'm listening to the one he won the award for from Lord of the Rings called Into the West.
Into the West, yeah. I hear singing. I don't remember too much singing.
It actually has vocals, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember vocals.
Actually sounds like a hymn, like a church hymn. Wow.
Oh,
I have no memory of that at all. So he won 3 Academy Awards for Lord of the Rings.
3 Academy Awards.
And it also says
Whoa.
he's composed the scores for over 80 films, but most notably the scores for Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. So that's kind of his claim to fame there.
Ooh, video games on his. Let's see, it's probably just the Lord of the Rings games. Let's see. Oh, no. 2 random games I've never heard of. Wonder video game scores. I don't know of many that are too famous, but I'm sure like The Last of Us probably has a good one.
So he's the uncle. Howard Shore is the uncle of another film composer, Ryan Shore.
Really?
I've seen his name around as well.
And does Ryan Shore have anything notable?
I'm looking.
Ryan Shore.
He's got some Grammys and Emmys and stuff. These are just awards. Where's this? Here we go. So he did some Scooby-Doo, some Netflix stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he did some Star Wars TV stuff, like some deeper, like not main big stuff. He's done a lot of little stuff. Yeah, he's probably. I wouldn't be surprised if he has something big soon. He started in like 2005.
He's an upcoming composer.
Seems that way. Yeah. A lot of them get started doing like the music to the Star Wars ride at Disney, stuff like that.
Oh, really? Nice. I think I forgot to mention it on the episode, but John Williams wrote some unique music for the whole Star Wars area at Disney World.
I did remember seeing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, all the music there. And it's funny because we were just, Nicole and I were just there, eating at in the Star Wars area, and I was like, I don't recognize any of this music from any of the films. And she was like, I mean, I'm sure it's from like something. And I was like, yeah, but like, I have never heard any of this. And I feel like Disney would only use music, that they have rights to, which is all of the stuff from Star Wars. So like,
Disney always takes things a step further, like you were saying. Like they'd go get it custom composed for this one section of the park,
Yep. So yeah, that after I read that, I was like, that makes sense why I'd never heard it, because it was all original for the area. And I'm wondering if he also wrote some stuff for the hotel. Which, dude, I cannot find anything. I know this is super off topic, but when you pull up the regular Disney resorts, the Star Wars one doesn't pop up. It's like its own special thing.
Did you do any research on that?
Not enough.
Because it was because you remember we were so excited to go.
Yeah.
It was like $6,000 for like a 4 or 5 day thing. Because it's not, you have to think of the hotel. It's not like a hotel. You don't just book a night.
Yeah.
It's like a cruise. Yeah. You book like an experience. So it was like $6,000, and the initial reviews from the first people that went were horrendous. They said it was like super cheap plastic, everything, like just like really shittily made, and it was just so grossly overpriced. And I think that they shouldn't have charged more than like $2,000 for that, and that would have been a lot.
Yeah.
And they were charging like $6,000, because I know I was definitely going to go, because I was going to go catalog the whole experience for my Star Wars YouTube channel.
Yep.
And then I saw the first reviews, and I was like, oh, no way am I paying that money then. There's absolutely no way. And they're going to have to do some changes for sure.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it.
I think they've probably scrubbed it and kept it kind of quiet while they try to figure out what to do. It's my guess. Oh, wait. No, hold on.
Looks like it's supposed to close.
It opened on March 1st, 22, and closed on September 30th, 2023. It was open for a year and a half.
Yeah. You can still see it. We drove by it, and you can see the rocks. Like, it has its own whole Star Wars looking area, like at the hotel. Like, it is immersive. It's extremely immersive. But yeah, I guess it is closed. Maybe if they redo it, they could do it better this time.
In May 23, they announced it would have its last 2-day voyage on September 28th, and then close for good. Wow. What a epic failure.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I didn't know it was still closed. I just hadn't heard anything from it. Critical reception focused on its high price for a less than luxurious experience. Early photos of the small windowless cabins went viral before it opened, with many commentators complaining that they were not it's not worth the price, basically. You're paying for luxury accommodations and you're getting like Motel 6.
Dude, it literally says 2 nights for about $6,000.
Yeah. Yep. Just why? How are they justifying that? Like, what? Makes no sense. And it makes people mad after a point, because they're getting Disney's famous for that anyway. They're just gouging you at every turn. So it's like at a certain point, people are just going to be like, no more.
Yeah.
So one commentator said the high prices kept many from visiting once, and the lone storyline, there's only one experience, offered no reason for anyone to come back a second time. So it's like you screwed yourself twice now. Yeah. Like, a lot of people aren't going to come because it's too expensive in general, and the people that can are not going to come back a second time because there's nothing different.
Man, it's crazy that Disney can just flop on a $5 billion, or it said it was like they'd look to cut like $5 billion, but it can't be that much. But still, the
price was about $1,200 per person per day.
Yeah, dude, I'm not sure.
That is
honestly, their ride probably does a better job than the hotel does of the immersiveness.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I would love to see something like that. Just, I guess, what would make it successful?
Much cheaper price, much better accommodations, and then offering a lot of different things.
I gotcha. Yeah. And they should
so basically you would check it. It was basically like you had to think of it like a 2 or 3 day ride. I did a lot of research on this. Mm-hmm. So you would check in, everyone would check in at the same time. You would go here, you would get, you're on the ship now. You're in space. There's like footage of you going up into space and blah, blah, blah. And then you're shown to your cabin. You're shown what you need to go do, and you can wander around. And there's actors in the ship that are like, communicating with you just like you're in Star Wars, stuff like that.
I gotcha.
And, but, you come back the second time and it's the same actors saying the same lines and doing the same things, doing the same performance in the canteen. It's like,
So
okay,
this is not only good for the one stay, like you said.
It's the same thing. You ride a ride twice at Disney. The guy comes on the hologram and is like, listen up, trooper. We have to, like, you've already seen it. You're just staring at your phone at that point. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, exactly that, but $6,000.
Man. That's rough.
So how to make that work?
Yeah, well, see, the $6,000 that blows my mind, and I don't think they ever offered it to annual pass holders or any. Well, that was during the time where annual pass holder wasn't a thing. They stopped it during COVID. They also released this during. You said 2021. That's like towards the tail end of COVID.
It definitely came out around that time. Yeah,
but that was still, man.
Oh, it opened in 22, closed in 23.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Swing and a miss. What are some other big movies that I'm trying to think of? Some big movie series. Who's doing all of the Marvel films for the most part right now? We saw a bunch of.
That's a lot of Alan's. So, well, this is the next person I wanted to bring up, Alan Silvestri, and we're looking at him. 1972 is when he got started with a film called The Doberman Gang, and then we're gonna go down, and he's just done. You're gonna see how much stuff he's done. He's one of the more prolific film composers.
Oh, is it? Okay.
His first big thing that I notice on here is Back to the Future.
Oh, okay. Back to the Future, and that was 84. 5. Okay.
And then in 87 he did Predator. And then he did, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Predator.
Back to the Future Part 2.
Okay. Who Framed Roger?
I'm scrolling down now. Back to the Future Part 3, Predator 2. Back to the Future The Ride. There you go.
Oh, nice. Where's that at? I don't even know where.
That's Universal Studios, Florida.
Yeah, Universal, that's right. Looks like he did
Fern Gully, which is a famous movie.
The Mummy. Or is this just The Mummy Returns? I do like Fern Gully.
Super Mario Brothers in 1993.
Oh, the video game? Or was there a movie?
This is a film.
It's an animated film. Yeah.
Forrest Gump.
Oh, dude, Van Helsing. Oh, he did the Polar Express.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff.
Sorry, that's like that. I think the Polar Express is
He did Mouse Hunt, which if you've seen that movie is really, really funny.
It sounds familiar.
It's about these two guys that inherit a really big, expensive house that they're trying to sell, but there's one mouse that they're trying to kill and they cannot kill, and the house ends up becoming completely destroyed because of their antics. It's a really funny film. Stuart Little, guy just can't escape mice movies.
Dude, he's a rat.
Yeah, more mummy stuff. Mummy Returns. Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, okay, awesome. That had a great.
Laura Croft, Tomb Raider. There's Van Helsing and Polar Express.
Yep.
Night at the Museum. Beowulf, and then he did all the G.I. Joes, I believe.
So, like, unlike a lot of the other composers we saw, I know almost every single movie this guy does. Like.
Yeah,
there's
like in 2011.
Small ones in between. It's just like I know almost everything this guy does. But
this is where this guy makes his nut. Right here in 2012, he composes the theme for the Avengers. And every other Marvel Cinematic Universe movie uses that theme from then on out. And they all gross over like $1 billion. So even though it's kind of a John Williams situation where he's not actually composing the movies, but he's getting the credit and the royalties from having composed the main theme for a lot of them. So he did Captain America, the first Avenger, and then he did the Avengers. That's when I noticed who he was, because I was studying film scoring at the time. And when that film came out, I was like, this is one of the best scores I've heard.
I was just about to ask you, and it's funny you just brought it up. I was just about to bring up the fact that you studied film score a little bit. I was going to say, what did you learn specifically? As far as what kinds of things?
I learned a lot of the technical and the business side of things, which is really cool. And then on the artistry, creative side of things, I learned how to write, like, what chord progressions, what instruments, what orchestrations evoke a certain emotion. Like when you hear the Avengers, why does that sound heroic? Okay, well, there's horns. They're playing in a Mixolydian scale. There's things you can grab, like, okay, now I need a heroic theme. Let's get some horns. Let's write it in a Mixolydian scale. Like, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Or horror. Why does horror sound bad? Okay, well, the strings are doing clusters, which is where every person just plays whatever note. And so it ends up sounding horrifically bad. And that's a really cool, and violins and stuff sound really scratchy and creepy anyway. So when you get a bunch of string clusters going, instant horror, like right away, done.
Yeah.
Like that's all you need. A lot of other stuff as well. It's oversimplified, but
like what emotions
like
are
that.
tied
to what
sounds.
How to score a comedy film. Like what makes something funny. Okay, well, your rhythm's going to kind of go boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba. And then you're going to have maybe a flute over the top going, you know, whatever. And it's like, okay, now we're scoring a comedy scene. Like, you know, there's these little tricks and tropes that people use over and over.
Interesting.
Avengers Age of Ultron, Ready Player One, which the movie was okay. Oh, check this out. This is interesting. Ready Player One, Steven Spielberg.
Uh-huh.
And Alan Silvestri did the score. And here in the notes, it said he replaced John Williams.
Oh.
So John Williams was on, and then he was off. I don't know why. Probably scheduling, if I had to guess.
Dude, every single person I've seen that John Williams couldn't do it was scheduling. And it just seems like you see, you can look at it, but composers are just busy, man. They're busy, it seems.
Yep.
Because multiple movies in a year, like, not that their part is as time grueling as the film process, but I mean, it still takes some time for sure. And then that's helped along by the orchestrators, like you said, their use of orchestrators, hopefully, to keep their schedule moving along. But yeah, this dude has...
Yeah, like you can only score so many movies at once, you know?
Yeah. What is he working on now? So he just did Pinocchio and a new movie called Here he's working on.
By the way, I wanted to say when we were talking about Danny Elfman, the first time I realized who Danny Elfman was Spider-Man from 2001. He did the soundtrack for that. And that very first scene where, who am I? I'm Spider-Man. This is a story, whatever he's saying, you know?
Yeah.
And that film music, like, like those really crazy, like, strings. It has that really amazing theme for the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. And that was all Danny Elfman. Which was really like what we would now consider like traditional superhero scoring, which is why I was so surprised to see that that's really not what he does. He does really wacky Tim Burton stuff and then, you know, all sorts of crazy things. Like he did that score to Good Will Hunting that we talk a lot about.
Oh, he did? That's right.
Danny Elfman did, yeah.
That's right. It's got those dark and mysterious undertones. A lot of times mixed in.
It's one of the weirder film scores I've heard.
Yeah. Because
that score constantly feels like it's normal, and then there'll be like one or two notes that make it super unsettling.
For no reason at all.
And you're just like, whoa, what?
Wait, is this a horror film?
Did this record skip? Like, so another person I want to talk about is Michael Giacchino. Why don't I go ahead and pull him up? So he's probably one of the more prolific modern film guys. And he partners with J.J. Abrams a lot. And Colin Trevorrow a lot. We'll recognize a lot of his movies. And he's done a lot of video games and film and stuff where you won't see like John Williams do a video game. You know what I mean? Where Michael Giacchino will and Brian Tyler, like those people will. So right off the bat in the 2000s, he comes out with 2004. He did The Incredibles, which is like a super jazzy.
It is jazzy. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yep.
Lots of horns in that one.
Mission Impossible
it's
3.
Fast paced.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille has the same kind of score as Incredibles does. It's another one of those like, it's got more French in it, but it's got that same like lots of horns, very fast paced music, high tempo stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep. And then he did Star Trek, J.J. Abrams. Anytime you see J.J. Abrams' names, a lot of the time you're going to see Michael Giacchino with him.
Yeah. Other than...
he did Up.
Okay. I like Up a lot. I like the melodies.
Cars 2.
On the main theme.
Super 8. And then he did Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, which might be my favorite Mission Impossible. John Carter, which I actually heard that was one of the lowest and worst rated movies of all time. I don't know if that's true. That's what I had heard.
Never seen it.
Maybe I'm wrong. No, maybe I'm wrong. It must be a different movie. More Star Trek, and then he did Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And then he came in here in 2015 and did Jurassic World. So you'll find Michael Giacchino more than once in his career has just picked up the torch for John Williams and just kept going. So John Williams did Jurassic Park, Michael Giacchino did Jurassic World. John Williams did Star Wars, Michael Giacchino did Rogue One. Like, he just picks it up and just keeps going.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome that he's got that like connection almost.
He did Inside Out and Zootopia.
Oh, I love Zootopia.
Rogue One, which we just talked about. And I see here a note, he replaced Alexander Desplat. I guess he's French. Desplat. So we should probably talk about him. He came in Spider-Man, Homecoming, more Planet of the Apes, Incredibles 2, more Jurassic World, Spider-Man. Dude, if you can, it seems to me if you're a film composer and you can get on one of these franchises, like, you're set for like a decade.
Oh, yeah, dude. You just find
you're done. You did.
Yeah, it seems like, being a film composer, if you can land like the right like series, especially one that's going to be followed with like multiple iterations.
And here's what I was talking about earlier. He did Spider-Man Far From Home. And in the notes, it says the Avengers theme by Alan Silvestri. So there's Alan Silvestri making money from a movie he didn't have anything to do with.
Yeah.
Just because the director's like, we really need to hear the Avengers theme here.
Yeah, because they have to bring that theme up anytime there's a reference from like one hero and another one. You know what I mean? Like anytime there's like an overlap of two heroes, it's like Avengers theme automatically has to play.
Absolutely. And now check this out. Spider-Man No Way Home. You saw that one, right?
Yeah.
So that's where all the Spider-Mans come together.
Yeah.
So in the notes section, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man theme by Danny Elfman, Doc Ock theme by Danny Elfman, Green Goblin theme by Danny Elfman. Keep in mind, Michael Giacchino did the score for this movie. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man theme, that was James Horner. James Horner's done a ton of stuff. He died recently, I think 2015. Electro theme, that was Hans Zimmer. I didn't realize that. And then his own theme, the Doctor Strange theme by Michael Giacchino. So all these different themes are coming in this one movie from all these different composers. And then he did Jurassic World Dominion. He did Thor, Love and Thunder. He does a lot of Taika Waititi stuff.
Real quick.
It looks like the next thing coming up is If, which is actually directed by John Krasinski, which is kind of funny. He's Jim in The Office.
And is that the one with him and Ryan Reynolds? Or is that a different movie?
If?
Yeah.
It's an upcoming American live-action animated fantasy comedy film. Written, directed, and produced by John Krasinski. And starring Ryan Reynolds, John Krasinski. Yeah, yeah, that's the one. That's probably going to be good.
Yep. But real quick.
That's Michael Giacchino.
Yeah, real quick. How incredibly awesome is that final Spider-Man movie to tie together all the series? Because my problem, like I said, I always hate the changing of actors, and like they rebuilt that Spider-Man series 3 times, and then for them to like bring it all together like that, and I didn't even know that they brought the original themes like that in. Oh, dude, that is just like you just can't recreate that in any other film. I've seen that movie kind of
3 or 4 times, all on planes.
Dude, you just can't recreate that kind of like film thing where you just bring in 3 different series like that. That's so cool, in my opinion.
And there's so many funny scenes that happen when the 3 of them are looking at each other like, dude, what? Like,
yeah, right.
God. I thought they did a really good job with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how the
which
legal
I've always
stuff
been partial
for
to. Similar to Star Wars. We talked about Phantom Menace and how that, you could make arguments that it's a terrible movie, but to me and you, it means a lot and we love it. Same for those first 3 Spider-Man. I think most people love Spider-Man 1. I think there's not a lot of hate on that. Yeah. But the third one, everyone hated with Venom and he's Dark Spider-Man, all that stuff. Everybody hated that movie. That one got so much hate. It was like the laughingstock of the film industry for a long time. I remember that. Now it's kind of cool, but I don't know. I always loved it. I watched it. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, same.
Sandman, Yeah, I don't look at films too critically, really. I'm just kind of like, explosions, yay.
Yeah, me neither. People, so many times in my life, I'll leave a movie theater with a group of people, and like 3 or 4 people are like, that movie was okay, or like, it kind of sucked, and I'm over here like, I thought it was good. In my head, I'm like, we went and saw Jurassic World Dominion, you and me.
Yeah. I remember. And we were leaving the theater, and I heard the people behind us being like, that was dog shit.
I mean, it wasn't Jurassic Park, but like, come on. Like, It was still fine. Like there was dinosaurs.
There were some funny things. One thing they pointed out was like when they were running from whatever it was, the Giganotosaurus, whatever the big bad guy was, and they end up in like a treehouse, you know?
Yeah.
It was like this scene of like where the two groups of people are running and they just like magically end up in the same place and they're like, oh shit, what's up? And then they like climb up
like
the treehouse.
It always happens.
Like,
yeah.
They were like, all right, of course, like, you know, like what a great happenstance. And I think things like that in movies can happen and be effective, but they have to have a little bit of a reasonable explanation.
Yeah.
Not just like, oh, here we are all in the same place. Let's go, you know?
Yeah. Movies I feel like they have such a need to add in comedic relief nowadays. Like they added a bunch of it into the Jurassic World series. They added a lot of it into the newer Star Wars series.
That's true. Do you remember
I guess
Jurassic
Star Wars
World,
always had some humor. I just feel like it was either really dry humor from Obi-Wan or Jar Jar being
anything C-3PO
Jar Jar
says.
being a fool on screen.
Well, in the original ones, it's anything C-3PO says.
Yeah, C3, dude. He's so sassy.
Shutting up, sir. Yeah. Shutting up, sir. Han Solo's like, shut up.
Actually, I guess R2-D2 is the sassiest, according to C-3PO's reactions to what R2-D2 says.
That's true. I think the one with the most effective humor and comic relief would have been Force Awakens. You remember like BB-8 doing the fire thumbs up and like all that stuff? Yeah,
I like some of the new jokes. Some of the new robot comedy. Even in like the new series.
Right. You know, the absolute funniest, I have to rescind my statement, would have been K2SO in Rogue One.
Yes, dude. That
and he was by Alan Tudyk voiced him. But you remember where they turn and just smoke the robot that looks exactly like him, and they look at each other like, oh no, we just killed our own guy. And then he comes from behind and he goes, did you know that wasn't me? Like they just shot the it was such a brilliantly done thing. And then there's the scene, this is a famous scene in Rogue One, where they're trying to pretend that Cassian's the prisoner. So K2SO slaps him in the mouth, and he was not supposed to actually hit him, but Alan Tudyk actually slapped him in the face. And they kept it in the final cut. You can see Diego Luna turn his head away and cover his face with his hand because he's laughing. And it's in the final cut of the movie.
What is it? What is this scene?
It's when they early on where they infiltrate the city and they get caught. And K2SO's like, this is my prisoner. And he's like, Cassian says something and he slaps him in the face and says, there's a fresh one if you mouth off again.
Oh.
Something like that. I don't remember the exact situation, but he's not supposed to hit him, and he did, and you can see Diego Luna laughing, which I always love little moments like that.
Yeah, I love like the hidden film things that just happen to work out.
There's so much good film music, though. I mean, we've covered a lot of the heavy hitters, but there's we're barely scratching the surface here. There's so much stuff.
Oh yeah, I just watched it. You can see. You can see that he's smiling.
Yeah, he ducks his head. He's like, save the take. Be a pro.
Yeah, one of my favorite of those like little film tidbits is Leonardo DiCaprio cutting his hand into Django Unchained.
I've seen it once, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, he hits it. He slams his fist on a table and he accidentally shattered a glass. And like his hand is just like profusely like releasing blood. Not part of the scene, but he just calmly like picks up a napkin, and he grabs the girl's face with his hand all bloody and puts blood on her face and stuff. That whole scene literally was just he accidentally just gashed his hand open and just was acting with it. And that was real blood that he like put on the girl's face and everything. It was like that whole scene was just like, oh, none of that was supposed to happen, but it did. Just the ability to like keep your composure, like slicing your hand open and then like just making it part of the scene. Like so
yeah. I think all that's cool until he put it on someone else's face. That becomes like a health hazard.
Yeah. That thing's. I'm starting to think like.
Unless you had like some permission and she was like, it's totally cool.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they went back and used
blood is one of the easiest ways to transmit diseases.
I'm wondering if maybe the glass thing, like, I wonder if he did like that first part of the scene with his hand cut, and then they went back and rewrote him grabbing her face and did fake blood or something. Yeah. Like, so the one part was real, and then maybe rewrote in some like, because I was thinking that as well. I was like, damn, dude, I could not just throw my bloody hand onto somebody. Because if somebody did that to me, bro, I'm so grossed out by blood.
Like in the take,
yeah,
like,
dude.
And you're kind of locked in the take. You can't. I mean, I guess you could stop it, but no one wants to.
Yeah, maybe the fear in her eyes was real then. There was.
She's like, please don't,
please don't.
Just like in the movie, totally out of character. Hey, please stop. Please don't do that.
No, please. What was that other name you? God, you brought up after
Brian
Michael.
Tyler, Alexander Desplat.
Maybe that was it.
Desplat did what I know him for. He's done a ton of stuff, and I hate to sound reductive of just the things I know that they've done, but the last 2 Harry Potters.
Okay. The Harry Potter
other things real quick to give him some flowers. The Golden Compass, Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium, Twilight New Moon. It seems like Twilight had a different composer for every movie almost.
Yeah.
Moonrise Kingdom, Zero Dark 30 was good. Godzilla for 2014.
Okay, nice.
Secret Life of Pets, French Dispatch, and Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, which came out in 2022. I didn't even know that came out.
I knew some of those movies. So he's done.
Yeah. Yeah, he's done a ton of stuff. And he won awards for The Grand Budapest Hotel and The Shape of Water.
So then let's see. I'm curious. The Harry Potters are broken up as well, with the first 3 being John Williams, the last 2 someone else.
Almost a different composer.
How many different Potter film scores? I just want to know how many different composers actually ended up working on it. Okay, so...
Yeah, the two middle ones were Patrick Doyle and Nicholas Hooper.
So John Williams, Patrick Doyle, Nicholas Hooper. I've never heard of those guys. Okay, so Patrick Doyle
came in and did Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
Nicholas Hooper did 5 and 6, which were awesome. And then Alexander Desplat did 7, which was obviously 2 movies, so 7 and 8.
Yeah. I really... Goblet of Fire is just kind of mid. It's like the mid movie. And
everybody... said pretty much agrees that's the worst of the movies. Yeah. I
can't. Nicole and I always watch them.
I love them all, but
yeah, I love them all. But if I had to pick one to not have to watch, and that's weird because the very first one has bad acting and stuff. Like the first 2.
Honestly, the one I would choose to not watch would probably be Order of the Phoenix, just because it's like, dude,
it's kind of slow.
If you go back and watch that movie, it's super slow, and it's it's color corrected so dark and so blue.
Yes, dude. I know exactly what you're saying.
Everything in that movie is just a different shade of blue.
Yeah. No, that one is like hard to watch.
And it's like really depressing, and you know, my favorites would definitely be 3, which I think most people would agree with, and then the last 2. You know, they're and I mean, I really love them all. We're talking, you know, degrees of a percent here. But that's what I would pick for sure.
Yeah, and I guess Patrick Doyle only landing 1 movie. He's the only composer of all of them to only get 1 movie instead of more than 1. So I guess everything is just bad about that one specifically.
I think maybe Goblet of Fire was released and maybe had some, potentially at the time, although I don't remember, maybe it has some negative reviews or something, and they were like, maybe we got to do some changes. But
yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember that.
We always just laugh at their hair. Ron and Harry's hair. Oh, yeah.
It was the time. It was the time. Yeah, it came out 2005. That was the time when every boy was growing their hair long.
Oh,
remember that?
Yep.
Because you did it, and all my friends did it, but my dad wouldn't let me do it. Yep. So I remember that.
So I'm looking at some of the other stuff that I clicked on Patrick Doyle. So he's done some animated films as well. So he's got let's see, Brave. I don't know if you remember that one.
He's Scottish. That's probably why they hired him for that.
Oh, that makes sense. What is this other? Oh, he did the Thor movie. Okay.
The first one?
Yep. He did Aragon.
Very cool. Oh, nice. Yeah, everybody hated that movie.
Everyone hated Aragon. We should give that.
Everybody hated it to the point that they didn't make any of the others. There's like 5 books, only 1 movie.
Dude, great series. That's one I hope someone revives someday. in
They
the
got to
future.
revive it and do it right. I don't remember why it was bad because I was a kid. I watched it. I was like, oh, sweet. I like it.
Same. Yeah.
But 2006, like I was,
Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch.
7th or 8th grade or something. I didn't know anything about movies. I still don't really. He came in, did Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Nice.
Dude, how many different people have we seen do Planet of the Apes as well? That seems like another series broken up, bunch of different composers. He okay, so he dates back.
Artemis Fowl.
Artemis
Do you
Fowl.
remember this movie?
I'm not sure if I've seen it, but I know what it is.
This is one. So it's a great book series. This is about like a child genius and stuff like that. And it's fantasy and there's dwarves and all sorts of cool stuff. And it came out in 2020. I remember turning this movie on. It's one of the few movies that I turned off and didn't finish. It was that bad. And that's coming from me, who does not have a very high bar for what's good.
Oh, so I tried to pull up Nick Hooper, the guy who did he did Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince. He does not really have a Wikipedia, not a whole lot to look at, but seems like he does like minor works on
Dude, you
films.
ready for this? Do you want to guess Artemis Fowl's approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh my, 9.
8%.
God, I was so close.
or an average rating of 3.7 out of 10.
That bad
This
of
is
a movie.
This is a really good summary of it. A would-be franchise starter that will anger fans of the source material and leave newcomers befuddled.
Oh, so no, literally it doesn't appeal to anybody.
So if you loved the books and stuff, you're going to be really pissed. And if you don't know the books at all, you're going to have no idea what's going on. So I remember watching it because I read all the books, but it had been so long.
Yeah.
And I remember watching this movie just like squinting my eyes like, what in the hell am I watching right now? I don't remember why it was bad. I should go back and watch it, but it was like Cats bad. Do you remember that?
I've never watched that. I just know that it's bad.
Oh, dude, if you ever want to have fun and you're just bored in bed trying to go to sleep, just go to the IMDb page of the like modern Cats with all the CGI and just read through the reviews.
Okay. That sounds like a good time.
It is so funny. And the movie, just watching the trailer to that movie, I was sitting there like, this is going to be so bad. And it was.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. Yeah, I feel like I've seen the commercials for Artemis Fowl and I was like, this is not going to be good. And I don't think it's going to be for me. So.
For which one?
Artemis Fowl. But I didn't read the series, so it makes sense. I knew it was a book series. I just hadn't.
Okay, so as bad as Aragon was, guess that Rotten Tomatoes score.
40s?
16%.
Ugh.
So double.
Whoa.
Artemis Fowl.
Jeez, that's lower than I thought. What did people hate about that one? Do you have any?
Aragon is a fantasy epic that lacks any magic, brought down to earth by unconvincing world building and a litany of stars, because they did have a really big star-studded cast, who seem bemused by the material. So the stars themselves are like delivering these lines like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like,
they didn't make anybody
which
read
actually
the
a lot of Star Wars was like that too. A lot of Star Wars was like that, but they managed to make it work. Like Han Solo kept being, and Mark Hamill and stuff kept going to George and being like, all right, what is this word? What am I saying? Like,
just say it.
And he'd have to be like, yeah, just say it. Trust me. But I guess this one didn't have the,
Yeah, not
it
everybody.
didn't have George Lucas, basically.
I guess it's like, yeah, sometimes it's cool to try and find actors that actually are interested in the source material. So, like, I guess nobody had read the book.
Well, that's why The Witcher works, I think.
Yeah, because, nobody's going to do it like Henry Cavill. He's just actually, like, a nerd outside of being an actor. So, I'm really excited for his work. He's, see, I hate that he didn't get to return to The Witcher, but he's working on...
Yeah, that's super annoying.
Yeah, because he didn't like that they were going to deviate from the storyline, and he thought that this regular storyline is like really good, so it was like, why would you deviate? But there was also some contract issues with that in like Superman, which also got canceled, and so now he's working on doing I don't know if you're familiar with Warhammer 40.
I've heard
Warhammer
of it, yeah.
40K. So it's like it's just like the same kind of like I used to play Magic the Gathering all the time, you know, so like I collect the cards. Well, like Warhammer 40K is like figurines that are armies, and you like do full on like battle. The game itself is like a battle of like your army versus
That's
another
cool.
on a big tabletop, but it's an extremely expensive hobby. Like I'm talking like a little 2-inch high piece that you need like 40 of for a battalion. Like that little piece is going to be like $10, and you'll need like,
Jeez.
that's what you'll need, like a ton of battalions, all kinds of stuff. So like one army is going to be like 5 to 10 grand. But
Warhammer 40K is about how much you'll be spending to start.
yeah, exactly. So it's a hobby that, and it has an entire like huge group of books, world building. Like it's a whole thing, just as much as in depth Lord of the Rings is, Warhammer is. As far as the
I'm
universe,
looking through images here, it looks beautiful. Yeah.
So there's a TV series coming out, and he is going to be in it, and he's working on it, and he is an extreme, like Warhammer is that's his thing. That's his biggest like hobby is Warhammer, and so everyone's really excited because you have somebody who's a huge fan of it, who knows the source material through and through, working on it, and who's going to be acting in it. So that's a series.
I heard someone say
that's a series to keep on the list to watch in the future.
Because you know how video game movies are historically just dog shit.
Yes.
I heard someone say their theory on why they've gotten a lot better is because now the people that played them are the people that are making them.
Yes.
So like now enough time has passed where the people that love the games and whatever the source material is are actually going to be able to make the thing, where before they were just the kids enjoying it. And they were being made by adults that had no idea what any of this was. Like,
yeah, Hogwarts Legacy completely made by all fans of the game, like book fans. Like, yeah. So that's made, and when people make it something they're passionate about, they're gonna take care of it. They're gonna put way more effort. So it's
Hogwarts Legacy, man. That's up there as one of my favorite games of all time.
I can't believe it got some negative reviews. I actually can't believe that.
Those people are idiots.
That's what I'm saying.
But and Starfield would be the other one. Both those games came out this year or last year, and they both just, I mean, I put 200 hours into those games. Like,
yeah,
I platinumed both of them. The only trophy I'm missing in Starfield is to be level 100, which is if you played Skyrim, it's quite a grind. And I'm waiting on DLC because after you've kind of done everything, you're kind of done with it, you know. So I'm just waiting on more DLC to keep grinding. I think I'm like level 60 or 70 or something.
So another video game coming to TV series is Fallout. I don't know if you remember those. There's a TV series
that'll be
coming
really cool.
out on.
That's ripe for good video content.
It's coming out on Amazon pretty soon, actually. If I remember, I watched
That's good because Amazon will give them a big budget.
So I remember watching it. It looks like it's going to be partial like comedy and action, so like pretty on line with what Fallout is as a video game. So it looks like that'll be another solid one. So a lot of these and then I know there's the series coming out 2025, I believe that's going to be Harry Potter. It's going to be a series that goes through all the books again, but like a season is going to be one year at Hogwarts, so it's going to be way more in depth of the Quidditch.
That sounds awesome,
the
but
classes.
I already see people hating on it just because it's going to be different and feel different. Yeah. But I bet it's going to be really good.
Nicole was upset, as the biggest Harry Potter fan that I know. Nicole really wanted she wanted a series based on Wormtail, Padfoot, so like the original 4 going to school.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. But
wanted.
Then if you look at that from a business perspective, it's like so many less people are going to watch that,
Yeah. But
because that's like a hardcore niche thing,
Yeah, it's going to be weird seeing
like
Harry.
Us fans would love it, but you're not going to bring in new Harry Potter fans with that. I mean, maybe a few.
It's going to be weird seeing Harry, Hermione, and Ron not as the original actors, but I'm excited to really see the development of like the Quidditch through the year. That's like some of my favorite parts in the book series is like keeping up with the Quidditch matches through the year. Watching Harry and Ron struggle at their academics all the time, like constantly struggle, and to be friends with somebody who's like extremely academically ahead of them. It's so funny. Just like
and to bring it all home, like who's going to be getting the scoring gig for that? That's awesome.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, are they gonna? Of course, I'm sure. Like now, it's weird. I don't know if you've seen this, or you've probably seen this. Movies pretty typically can continue the same music theme, but then it seems like TV shows stemmed off those movies are not allowed to keep that same theme. I don't know if you've noticed that. There's a lot of times where a TV show,
I don't know if they're not allowed, or if
they just want to change up the themes. Like I'm wondering if Hedwig's theme is going to make an appearance on the show or not.
Well, one famous thing is TV shows have a way less of a budget than a movie. So they might not be able to blow a bunch of their budget on licensing a theme. You know, they might have to just work with what they got.
I gotcha.
I think that's changed a little bit with streaming. Like famously, the Lord of the Rings show on Amazon had one of the biggest budgets ever seen. By far the biggest budget for any television show ever created. It was in the hundreds of millions, I think. And it's just unheard of for a TV show because they're usually, I don't know what to ballpark it, but a movie budget, you know, big blockbuster movies, $100 million plus budget, and TV shows aren't anywhere near that.
I gotcha.
So they have to kind of pick and choose what they're spending their money on, I think.
That makes sense.
But again, I think those budgets have gotten bigger with Netflix and things like that. But anyway, I think we've kind of covered a lot of that topic today. How you feel?
Oh yeah, I feel like I got it out. Got it all out of my system.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel.
Again, there's so many people we didn't talk about, like Ludwig Göransson, who did New Girl, which I love, and then went on to do The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett and all sorts of stuff.
Well,
so
maybe we save some TV shows music for another episode.
TV shows and video games.
Yeah, TV shows and video games.
Like one thing we didn't point out about Michael Giacchino, he did the theme for Lost and all the music for Lost, which was J.J. Abrams.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So there you go. That'll do it for us today. Melomaniacs, thank you so much for being here. I'll give the spiel one more time. Please like and follow on Instagram and TikTok. Subscribe on YouTube. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And check out our Patreon. It's over on our website. You can get there, or patreon.com/Melomaniacs. And we offer a $5 tier that'll give you a lot of cool rewards. So I want you to check that out. Any final words?
Nope. We'll see you guys next time. Let us know what your thoughts are on film music in general. And tune in for the next episode.
Awesome. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.